as we get started for 2014. My name's Todd Walker. Great to have you with us here as the Web Insurance Countdown to Kickoff heads into high gear. And joining me for our roundtable segment, Mike Miller and Jason Aldrich, as we're ready to go for 2014. And a little bit of a truncated show tonight with Lima Senior kicking their games off at 7 o'clock. So we'll have just one segment on our roundtable feature. Guys, first of all, just a couple of big storylines that you're looking forward to with high school football. To me, the big one is year 2 for Mike Fell at Lima Senior. That's our broadcast game tonight with the Spartans and Marion Harding. I think there's a lot of excitement around Spartan football, and really some of that old-style hitting is back that we saw at the scrimmage the other day. Defensively, of course, Lima Senior was abysmal last year. That looks to be shored up. I think that's one big storyline, at least for me. Guys, what are some of the things you want to hit on here?
I would agree with you, Todd. Looking for Lima Senior to possibly improve on that very impressive. I mean, let's just flat out admit it, 5-5 year from a year ago. However, gave up a whole heck of a lot of points, and I know that's a point of emphasis for Coach Fell is on the defensive end. And, you know, it can get off to a good start tonight here in the opener against Marion Harding. One other one that just pops into my head, can Marion Local continue their dominance? Not necessarily in the MAC, but being in the MAC, I mean, sets them up for the playoffs every year.
Yeah, Marion Local actually won a MAC title. How rare for them last year. But my thing is, and I'm hip with what you guys are talking about, Coach Fell. That's certainly an interesting story. I'm going to shift to the Western Buckeye League with the change involving at 2 locations, 2 of the biggest name coaches that league maybe has ever seen. Mike Mock's, his departure from Kenton is undeniable. He's like a Mount Rushmore with his pushing 30 years over there and what has happened. And certainly at Wapakoneta with Doug Fry slipping down 33, staying in Auglaize County, heading home to St. Mary's. What that means for those programs, Kenton, Wapakoneta, and St. Mary's, all 3 collectively, I think are interesting stories.
Oh, no question about it. Those are big stories. And Wapakoneta games, of course, will be heard on our sister station, WZRX 107.5. Mike will be the voice of the Redskins again this year. You got a chance to talk with Coach Moyer earlier in the week. Boy, he's got an impressive resume. And Wapakoneta folks are excited they were able to replace Coach Fry when he left for the stature of Travis Moyer.
Yeah, he strikes me as a serious guy, yet still with a calm, logical demeanor, which I think is a good combination for a football coach. He doesn't get too enamored with himself, and I think he's got a good rapport with the players. The Wapakoneta folks have told me that he's every bit as tough as Coach Fry with his business-like approach. And as you say, his record is spectacular. And one of the other things with Coach Moyer that impressed me, and he revealed it to me, is the number of fellas from Bucyrus-Winford that were with him through his incredible 14 or 15-year run that literally make the drive on a daily basis to assist through the week with practice and ostensibly with that first game coming up tonight for Wapakoneta, coming over from Bucyrus, which tells you the effect that he had and their success had, that it made guys commitment. That might not last for a couple, 3 years at the most, but at the front end of his trip or his stay at Wapakoneta, that's pretty impressive to me.
That's very impressive, and we look forward to hearing the Redskins all year on 107.5 WZRX. Tonight, they will be at Bell Fountain. Another storyline, guys, is to check a couple of the rule changes. The targeting rule is now in high school, so you can look for that to be screwed up with regularity as it is on the higher levels. People will get pissed. Calls will be missed. The game will be affected. Just mark it down. Also, the mercy rule is now in effect. If you're up 30 or more in the second half, they'll go to a rolling clock. I think that's a good idea. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
Well, whenever you have, and it seems like we have these almost every week, at least a couple of them on our scoreboard when we recap all the games on Friday nights and even into the weekends on Saturday, where you have some absolute blowouts. You know, going into some of these matchups where a school, maybe hasn't had a program for a couple of years, they're trying to reestablish that, going up against a traditional powerhouse. you're going to have blowouts. So, yeah, I agree with the running clock rule, if you will.
When does that kick in, Todd? After the third quarter, fourth quarter?
In the third quarter, it begins.
Oh, as in like the second
Yes.
half.
Right.
Wow. See, I don't know that I understand the thrust behind it. I'm okay with that. But I think that might be a little too premature. I would prefer that only be a fourth quarter thing. But generally, I'm okay with it. I just think it's too early that the final quarter. And then in terms of targeting, I'm actually okay with that also, as long as it's consistent and it's interpreted as such, and without the benefit of replay and that sort of thing. I don't know how it can be on the high school level. I think it's going to get screwed up, and there's going to be some complaining about that.
Yeah, that'll be routinely missed. But, that's the way it is nowadays with football at every level. Hey, guys, let's also talk about our local teams besides Lima Senior. Change at Lima Central Catholic with Scott Pulte, a new offense. Meanwhile, at Elida, they're trying to get back where they were a couple of years ago as a playoff team with Coach Carpenter. Shawnee and Bath both bringing back a lot of people from losing campaigns last year. But we could have a very solid middle of the Western Buckeye League. And in that middle is Bath, Shawnee, and Elida. And it'll be interesting to see locally which one can come out of that pack. And we'll start to get a preview Saturday night when Bath takes on Lima Central Catholic. And with that in mind, let's go to our picks.
All right.
And that is a game we'll do a pick on. We'll broadcast that game tomorrow night. Bath and Lima Central Catholic. Scott Pulte rolling out the spread offense after taking over for Jerry Cooper at LCC. Bath with Coach Garland. Looks like they're going to be kind of a smash-mouth football team with a big offensive line and running the football. Who you got in that one tomorrow night, Mike?
I'm going to take Lima Central Catholic in that contest because I don't think, although, as you say, Coach Garland's been there for a couple of years as the head coach and has been there for a long, long time. Bath, to me, struggled with their offense last year, where I believe there's a lot more continuity with Lima Central Catholic, and Scott Pulte has been on hand. I don't think it's going to be as big as issue with them, and I think there really is a home field advantage for Lima Central Catholic when they play at the stadium there. So I'm going to give the nod to Central Catholic in this one.
Jason, what do you think? Bath, LCC.
Well, I thought with a fresh new season, a fresh start of picks here for us, and, every once in a while, games are coin flips. And I thought maybe every game I would rely on the old coin just to see how it would go for a season.
Right.
This first one, I'm going to take LCC. I'm going to go without the coin.
Yeah, I think Bath's going to be better. But I think defensively, really, they were poor last year, and I don't know that that's really going to be that much better. And I've seen LCC and their spread attack. They got a lot of athletes. I think LCC puts up some good points as far as their offense is concerned. I'll pick the T-Birds, but I do think Bath could stay in that game if they can grind it out and keep LCC on the sidelines. But I'll pick the T-Birds. How about our game tonight here on WIMA? Lima Senior against Marion Harding. All indications are here that the Spartans are the stronger team. I'm taking Lima Senior.
Yeah, I think easy pick here, Todd. Also, you have to believe there will be progress made for Lima Senior in their second year with Coach Fell, because Coach Fell is all about business, all about progress, all about development and moving ahead. Marion Harding has been a real struggling program for quite some time. And until they turn it around for at least a season like Lima Senior did last year, I can't believe they're going to be in effect against the Spartans in the opener at the stadium. So I pick Lima Senior also.
Jason, you going to make it a sweep?
Again, mentioned concerns earlier about Lima Senior defensively. I think that'll be a big focus in this opener tonight. I think offensively, I saw them a week ago at that three-team scrimmage down at the stadium. They've got some playmakers. They've got some quick guys on offense. I'll take Lima Senior.
Yeah, they found a trigger man in Darius Gordon, which is a huge deal because last year they had Marquise Graham, who really blossomed as the quarterback, but he graduated. But Justice Graham, not Marquise Graham, right? Darius Gordon has filled in now taking over, and he looks pretty good to me. How about Elida St. John's? That game tonight at Stadium Park in Delphus. Mike, what do you think?
Not a tough call for me. It has been in recent years, but by every appearance, this St. John's team maybe has overcome some of the lesser enrollment issues that St. John's had with boys in the last few years. They've moved past that to the point where they have quite a few returners. They have a veteran quarterback returning, and I think this St. John's team is loaded for bear. They're maybe the one team out there that can challenge Coldwater and Marion Local in their league, and Elida's still looking for a quarterback and not that physical of a team to this standpoint, so I think it's Blue Jays all the way at Stadium Park.
Well, Logan Alexander looks like he's going to be the quarterback for Elida, but and I'm not as high on St. John's as you are. I don't know that they're really a contender against Coldwater and Marion Local, but I do think they're good enough to beat Elida. Elida's defense looked very porous at their scrimmage the other day, last week. That scares me. I'm going to take the Jays tonight on their home field.
See how the coin does.
Uh-oh,
Week
here
number
we go.
one. Heads
Here
for
we
the
go.
home team, Delphus St. John's. Tails for the roadies, Elida. The flip, the home team wins the first toss of the year.
Oh, boy.
DSJ.
All right, so we got 3 clean sweeps. Our next pick, Shawnee at Marion Local. Indians are bringing back a lot of people. So are the defending champion Flyers, although they lose Adam Berkey, their quarterback, for the last 4 years. They're still loaded. I'm taking the Flyers, but I also think, kind of like the Bath game, I think Shawnee's improved this year. I think they may be able to hang in this game throughout, but I like Marion Local.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's almost too easy to immediately just take Marion Local in this contest, because the fact of the matter is Shawnee is a larger school. They've got a bigger pool of talent to pull from, and they've got a pretty good football tradition in the last decade or more, but it's Marion Local at home. And the cupboard isn't bare for Tim Goodwin and the Flyers. It is too easy. Hence, I'm taking the easy route. I'm picking Marion Local.
There you go. Jason, want to make it a clean sweep?
It'll be a separator.
I'll make it a clean
That's
sweep.
what I thought.
We'll go Marion
He
Local.
doesn't care about separators. Our final pick of the week, could this be a separator? Coldwater at Kenton. Coldwater, another state championship last year. Brody Hoying coming back. Kenton, I think it was the state semifinals last year. They lose Coach Mock. They lose a bunch of seniors. Can they get back on track quickly with Coach Fackler? I'm taking Coldwater tonight.
I'm going to take Coldwater also, because the Cavaliers have a lot of returners. I think they have much of the core of their title team last year, where Kenton's going to have to break in a new quarterback. Grant Sherman is gone. The superstar receiver is gone. Furbush, the super stud linebacker, is now up north playing for the Wolverines. So I think too much of a change for Kenton. Not saying Kenton won't be competitive and a pretty decent team through the WBL season, but it looks like a Coldwater Cavalier opener tonight. Victor.
Jason, this is the last chance to be a dissenting vote.
And we're going to rely on the
here
coin.
it
This
is.
is definitely a coin flip type of game.
All
This is
right.
at Kenton, right?
That's
At
correct.
Kenton.
So they get the head for the home team.
Okay.
Road team, Coldwater. Here's the flip. And it's the home team, Kenton.
All right. Well, that's our only separator for week 1. We were unanimous, except for that. And, of course, week 1, of course, the hardest to pick, because you really haven't seen them in action. But with that disclaimer, we look forward to week 2. We'll step aside and come back with more of the Web Insurance Countdown to Kickoff. TV 44 WOSN's Mark Coons will join us. Our game tonight is Lima Senior and Marion Harding on 1150 WIMA.